Friend, I'm getting there. I'm on the road. I am on the road. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going out for an excursion today, to say the least. I've got like a lot of stuff. Can't wait till you get here. Oh, I know. It's going to be a little bit. I looked at the GPS. I got started at 6, which that's not too bad. I just did not want to get up any earlier. I set my alarms. My alarms were going off. 4:30 rolled around, and I'm like, no, need coffee. Need coffee. Good morning, everyone. So we're going on a road trip. Stacey, good morning. Good morning. And going to see Mabb and his beautiful wife in the Keys, and just going to go. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff to do there. I haven't been here in so long. They have like a butterfly place. They've got some cool stuff. I'm kind of excited. I'm interested. So anyways, I got a cool little place, and I'm going to go chill. And I got more than anybody, like I'm not even going to stay very long. And I got the whole car loaded down. You don't want to be traveling with bullhorn Betty. I bring everything in the kitchen sink. The only thing I forget to pack is food, right? I've got a plethora of electronics that I know I'm not going to use. But if you need it, and it's not with you, you got to go to the store and buy it. And if you know anything about electronics, when you need something and you don't have it, it's very expensive. So I bring everything. I got to tell you, yesterday it was last night. I literally had the worst withdrawal attack I think I've had in a really long time. Since starting this, I think I don't even think it came close to even the first day. It was really, really bad, and it didn't go away. You know, it wasn't like a 20-second thing or a 30-second thing. Like this, I went through these withdrawal symptoms for probably about an hour. It was very miserable, very miserable. I got my patch on. I don't even know what today is. I got to count my patches to find out how many days I've been trying to quit this vaping stuff. I'm hopeful. Sorry. So annoying. You got one car to your right going slow, the other one to your left is trying to get over. It's ridiculous. I was reading a lot of stuff related to Brian Koberger here lately. Good morning. Oh, I got plenty of rest. I went to bed early last night because I was having such a bad withdrawal symptom last night. It was really, really bad. So I find that sleeping helps. I went through 3 bags of candy, and it wasn't sugar-free candy, so I didn't bring any candy with me. But I find that hard candy works the best. But I find that my anxiety, I don't really have anxiety, but this quitting this whole vape thing, it gives me anxiety. And I noticed that the hard candy helps with that. But with my anxiety, instead of sucking on it, I end up chewing it. So I'm just chewing a bunch of hard candy, and I can't imagine that's good for my teeth. Anyways, I hope everybody's having a wonderful day this Wednesday. It's hump day, guys. It's hump day. I still can't believe today's the last day of the month. The month went by incredibly fast. We've had a lot of stuff that we were hoping to get done this month that kind of went to the wayside, but I'm hoping that what we've done over the last few weeks is going to be fruitful, and only time will tell. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to pop in here, tell you all good morning. I don't know where my other phone is. If I had my other phone, I'd be able to have some talking points. But I hear that, well, I'm wondering when their alibi is coming. Now, this is what I know. From articles that I'm reading, it appears that the Bogan family and the Gonzalez family, they were a united front. As you can imagine, they are basically a blended family. They're family. They lost 2 daughters. Their daughters were each other's daughters. I mean, it was a blended family. So they've kind of taken the lead on this, and I'm hearing that they want the DP for Brian Koberger. And there's been a lot, and even I have brought up, and it all started with a statement that Sleepy Goosey had made, I want to say a week or 2 ago. I can't remember because this whole month just flew by. So it could have been a week ago. It could have been 2 weeks ago. I'm unsure. But she stated something about would this be a DP case? And of course it would be a DP case. Just the heinousness. And I'm pretty sure that we had a whole entire live on this very topic. It was either that or a video. But I know we discussed this quite a bit. Either way, Sleepy had brought up with this, and I'm like, naturally, one of the first comments, well, not the first comments I've had on Sleepy Goosey's Twitter feed, but one of the first here recently as we're developing this case. And I naturally say, of course, they're going to, but that wasn't what she was trying to acknowledge. She was trying to acknowledge the fact that there have been, the whole entire state collectively, I think it was only 29 people in 159 years that have actually met their sentence of DP in the state of Idaho. And everybody was a little excited whenever we heard about the new law related to the firing squad. It really wasn't a new law. Once we looked into it a little bit more, we found out it's a pretty simple thing. They can't get this medication for the euthanization process, or whatever you want to call it, lethal injection. And so they had to have a second form of a method of carrying out that type of sentence. And under the law, the most humane would be a firing squad. So that is why they reenacted that. It wasn't because Brian Koberger carried out this crime. Many people thought that it was a specific signal to Brian Koberger, and it wasn't. It had nothing to do with Brian Koberger. This was something that had been in the making for quite some time. And sorry, guys, give me just a second. Sun is out. There we go. That's much better. So we had that, and then of course with this whole ID thing, there was apparently some IDs in a latex glove inside a box inside the home of Brian Koberger's parents. and it leads many people to believe that he had other suspects or other victims, or not suspects, other potential suspects or suspects in general. We don't know who those licenses belong to. I'm interested in what law enforcement is doing to find out who they belong to and if they were a victim of a crime. That information probably won't be readily available to us for any foreseeable future. There's been a lot of weird things coming out about the trends in certain areas in the Google Trends respect in 2018, 2019 era of somebody researching Bryan Kohberger as a suspect in a stabbing. It was alleged that this took place in Hawaii. I don't know if Bryan Kohberger had ever lived in Hawaii or visited Hawaii or vacationed in Hawaii. I have no knowledge of that, but apparently that is what is being alleged. I also heard that the person that had posted that walked that back possibly, but I did not see that personally. So while I can't confirm any of this information, I can tell you that there is rumors and speculation out there related to that. But again, I think we all in the back of our mind believe, even if there isn't a deceased victim in Bryan Kohberger's wake, other than these four, we definitely believe that there are other victims of crime in his wake to different degrees. If we look at it just a little bit, there we go. Son, I got such sensitive eyes. It's hard. It's really, really hard. Good morning, everybody that is now coming into the chat room. It's nice to see you. We're only 11 minutes in. We didn't have any intro because I'm coming directly to YouTube. I find when I'm on the road, having YouTube running directly through YouTube as opposed to Restream or StreamYard, it helps with the bandwidth and helps me stay up with less. We're going to still have some technical issues just by us traveling, but hopefully by going through YouTube directly as opposed to StreamYard, you're getting a better quality stream with less streaming issues. We'll see. But again, so just having a road trip, we're going to see a fellow true crimey, a true crime junkie. I don't know what to call Mabb. But, we never really get the opportunity to meet a lot of our Mabb's been on Dolly's panel. We all know who Mabb is. We know his beautiful wife. They are always there in California. We usually see videos from Mabb. We're seeing, mountain lions walking down the road in California. So just getting an opportunity to shake somebody's hand that's in the same industry or business that you are, at least trying to emerge into the business. You always want to you get a lot just from meeting people belly to belly as opposed to knowing them online. And I just feel that every person that I've met in person, I end up making, in my opinion, a lifelong friend. A lot of the people, my mods, for example, many of my mods have met me personally, and two of my mods live right here in the state of Florida. So I have an opportunity, and not too far from me either. So I have an opportunity to meet with them, take them out to dinner, just chat with them, hang out with them, if I so choose. I'm obviously too busy, right? But with Mabb, we've been playing, golly, I don't even know how long Mabb and I have been planning. He's known he's coming to Key West for a significant amount of time. I want to say March or April, he started letting me know he's coming to Key West, and so I told him that him and his wife came down here. I would definitely meet them for dinner, for lunch, for whatever, but definitely would love to shake their hand and get to meet them personally. And so I had that opportunity, and so since we had already planned it for months, I have to be honest with you, I almost forgot. And then Mabb sent me a text like, hey, I'm in Key West. Oh, that's right. I forgot all about it. I have to be honest with you. But that's okay. Even though I forgot about it, I planned for it. So I had the area, and I had several days that I could go down. Yeah, today's the day that I'm going down. So I'm really excited. Can't wait to see Mabb. Mabb and family. I should say that. Mabb and family. So anyways, getting back to Bryan Kohberger, I just keep wondering, what I think we're kind of past Dana Smith. Realize she's not a victim of Bryan Kohberger. At least that's going to be my position on this. I can't make that position for everybody in my audience. Obviously, they think for themselves. But for me, him having any kind of issue or association of any sort with Dana Smithers, I just don't see it. I do see other possibilities, but with the lack of knowing whether this is a homicide or natural causes, that's going to play significantly in the Dana Smithers case. There are several things going on in her case, and we have to talk about them. I know it's easy to point the finger and wag at Bull or Betty and say victim shaming, but it's not victim shaming when you're discussing the case and all the possibilities that could be going on in the case. The bottom line is her sister has let it be known that she's not a perfect angel. She's had some significant issues in the past. She's had some drug dependency issues in the past, but she's been clean. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because anybody that's been in any kind of recovery for any significant amount of time, you're only as good as your recovery. So if you start getting complacent with your recovery, it is very easily, depending on the type of drug, it is very easy to slip back into that lifestyle. And it is possible, with it only being 200 yards away from her home. This might just be her little area that she found that was off the beaten path, that wasn't readily seen by anybody, passerby, and it gives her the privacy that she needed to do whatever she was doing. There is that possibility there because of her past. It doesn't mean that that's the case. It just means that there's that possibility. And we also have to take into consideration, and we've discussed this before when it comes to Dana Smithers, is that she was with her ex. She was with her ex-boyfriend. We don't know what kind of relationship that was. From what we're hearing, it was a okay relationship. Obviously, they've been broke up for a while, but they were hanging out that day. Did they get drunk or used? Or because when you're getting clean, you got to change people, places, and things, and that includes significant others. Could this have been a problem? One of her problems, significant others that always seem to be around the DRUGSs. And you just never know. Did they get into an altercation? Did something happen? She made it home. She was in her home before she disappeared, and that tells me that that was ultra personal. In light of Bryan Kohberger not being the person, now we've got to look at other people, and we know statistically when you have a situation like this and so close, people don't like driving around with dead persons in their vehicles. It just doesn't. It's a very, I can only imagine, very uncomfortable situation when you're already freaking out because you just did this horrific act and you're guilty and your mind's already taking over. So you're not going to want to carry this thing around along. You're going to want to dump it. You're going to want to dump the body, period. And so it's usually the closest obscured place, which that was 200 yards away. So this would be somebody that was familiar with the area if she was murdered. Again, we're lacking that information. We literally have no information on Dana Smithers, none. We don't even know if she was murdered, or it was an accident, or if she was hit and run, or if it was medical, like a heart attack or a stroke or something, or an overdose, or we don't know. It's in her autopsy, or her cause of death is inconclusive at this moment. I don't know how they're going to determine cause of death because I don't understand that inconclusive, because if she was stabbed, for example, even in it's been a year, so you're looking at basically bones. You should have chips and stuff in the bone from the wound, from the stabbing. It chips the bone inside your body. You'd have those indicators on the bones for bone. Obviously, if it was blunt force trauma, you're going to have more bone fragments and a clear blow somewhere, broken bones and areas. So you should be able to tell that. And obviously, a gunshot, that's very noticeable. Post-mortem, with no tissue, no matter what, you would be able to see that on. So I don't understand the inconclusive. That basically is telling me that there wasn't any notable trauma to her skeletal remains. And that's where you would want to see those puncture moves, the scrapings, the indentations, the chipping from that knife, where they can clearly see the tip, or even finding a piece, lodged in bone or something of that nature. That's happened in the past as well. So we're not. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how, but I do still believe, just like everybody else, that there has to be other victims of Bryan Kohberger. I'm not necessarily. I'm still not all there with the whole. He's hurt somebody to death previously. I'm not quite there yet. I still feel like this was his first. And there's a lot of things that lead me to that theory and that opinion of mine. And it was kind of bolstered with the 11 or 12 visits to the house on King Road. If this wasn't his first kill, I don't believe he would have had to make so many attempts at going over to that house. I would think that he had already done it. He would be a more confident person. He wouldn't have taken 11 times going to that house before he carried it out. And we have to say it's 11 times because the 12th time was the next morning after the crime was carried out there at King Road. So just a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. But you know what? Again, these are just my thoughts and how I get there. It kind of gives you a little idea of how I think and how I tick when it comes to these types of cases. But I look at them and I just, on the cursory review, just listening to the information, like yesterday with Daniel Robinson, I think it is it Daniel Robinson or something like that? When we were starting to go over it, it's been a little while since I touched that, since I read anything about that case. But just going over just just the limited facts that we have. He was out there on a geological type of situation with a friend, which is a little odd for me, and being all by themselves. There was something, and of course, a lot of questions rise in my brain and say, did they drive there together? If they came there together, why did they leave together? So what about this accident? People are talking about it being staged. What is out there? Could he have walked in on something? Could he have walked in on a coca field, a weed field, a number of things? Did he walk in? Was he a witness to a crime? Maybe a desert exchange of some sort. It's in Arizona. There are cartels and a lot of stuff in that area. Maybe not specifically in that area, but you have to think, with it being so close to Mexico, they're going to have cartel. They're going to have a lot of different stuff there. But when I hear about the details, I'm sorry, there's just something that's not adding up for me. And it's not adding up for me with the whole friend and what they were out there to really do. I have to assume that the friend has been clear, that I don't like making those assumptions without knowing everything. Based on everything I've read, I haven't seen where law enforcement has publicly or specifically stated that the friend that he was out there with has been cleared. I could be wrong. Again, there's a lot of stuff that I do not remember about that case, but it's just those things where when you're listening to the facts, you start thinking, and I was even saying, well, that sounds personal to me. And looking at statistics and saying, that sounds odd, and who were the people that saw the wreck, and who were the people that saw him stumbling away, and not only that, but him acting erratic and stumbling away. We don't know what kind of injury he had at that time prior to that wreck. So these are all the things that, as people were putting into the chat, that I'm thinking about and processing in real time, and asking those questions. And that's what I do with this whole Bryan Kohberger thing, because kind of circling back, and even with that whole sheet, you guys know how I feel about that sheet. I really truly believe that Bryan Kohberger is a meticulous person, a very meticulous person, and there was such a small amount of DNA on that sheet. I truly believe he thought that sheet was clean. I think he cleaned the sheet to make sure it was ultra clean, but he missed a spot. I think that sheet was left there. I think the sheet was left there, and I think the sheet was left there intentionally. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. It's kind of like the same feeling I got when I said, before we even knew of Bryan Kohberger or anything, when I got to that property and I said, whoever did this has been here multiple times. This was when they had tried talking themselves into doing this multiple times before, and this was the day that they finally got the kahunas to carry it out. And I'm pretty sure I almost used that language verbatim when I was talking about it. Are you guys able to hear me? Because I believe I am on my Bluetooth in the vehicle, and I just want to make sure that the audio is not too awful with the Bluetooth in my vehicle. How are we doing? Are you guys doing? It looks like even the video and everything's been coming in really good as well. I haven't received any shutdowns or anything saying that the internet has been funny or anything like that. Are we doing good? I don't know what the lag time is on it though. I'm not seeing any comments coming in just yet. Oh, and don't forget to hit the like button. That's kind of how we keep our numbers up. As many of you know, we're always heavily under attack. For whatever reason, I have no earthly idea, but apparently people's right, and there's even people in my own camp that would love nothing more than to see me be a complete and utter failure. We're not going to give them that. I work very hard. I go through these cases meticulously. I don't try to mislead my audience. If I don't have the answers, or I feel off, I will go out to the place and fact find myself and see what I come up with. And that's what we did with the Idaho 4. And I can tell you, as soon as my feet hit that ground and I saw that house for the first time, I knew it was none of their friends. I don't know how I knew it was none of their friends. I knew immediately that this was somebody that we were not looking at. I'm sorry. There's just a few things in life that when I knew going in that this seriously was. There we go. No, I'm not. Of course not. No. But I don't know. I work too hard to be a failure, but it's just still disheartening that you see all these people with so much hate and that just want to cause you pain for no reason. It's really sad. And I think that's what it just sucks, is because you want to do good, you want to do better. Whether they agree with how you get results or not, that's not up to them. It really isn't. If you're doing what you're doing lawfully and legally, that's all that's required. That's it. That's all that's required, and that's what I do. I do my business lawfully and legally, and under every single law at my disposal, I will use for these cases. I mean, that's what the law is for, right? You know what extent you're allowed to, where you're allowed to go, what you're allowed to do, and what is constituted as lawful. What really upsets me is that these people lie to their audience and say somehow that we caused this whole chaotic thing over in Chatham County, and no, we didn't. They did. That's the problem. They caused that. Think about it. We didn't send people out to their houses and to disrupt them. They sent people out there to disrupt us. They sent a freaking clown. When we're advocating for a 20-month-old baby, the death of a 20-month-old baby, they sent a clown out there. That wasn't something that the Bullhorn Betty channel did. That was something they did. The reason why those loitering signs went up wasn't for Bullhorn Betty. It was because of the chaos they were bringing in, that they were paying and shuttling into the area. We were working just fine. It was them blowing up the phones at the police department. It wasn't us. It was them. And if you really want to find out who was utilizing the resources, it wasn't the Bullhorn Betty channel. It wasn't Dolly Vision. It wasn't the people out there peacefully protesting and advocating for Quentin Simon. It was the hate channels that caused all the chaos. That put this stuff up and advocated for their channels, for their members to call into the Chatham County Police Department. It was them that were causing all of these 50-some-odd calls. We didn't do that. They did that. And then after they do that, they try to point the finger at everybody else and say, oh, look at them. It was them that did it. No, it wasn't. It was you. It was you. For the love of God. Nobody from the Bullhorn Betty channel called the police. It surely wasn't Bullhorn Betty or Dolly Vision attendees calling law enforcement 50 times. It wasn't the Bullhorn Betty channel that brought a murderer's wife and a lady that is clearly mentally disturbed and a clown out to the area. It wasn't us that did that. It was them. Oh, they made a mockery of this child? They did all of it. Every bit of it. And then they try to blame somebody else. You know, we have it on video, you dumb butts. It's ridiculous. And don't forget, that one chick hit me in the nose. I was assaulted because of these hate channels sending some crazy woman out to the area. I've still got the incident card and the incident number. I was assaulted. Apparently, for whatever reason, me advocating for a 20-month-old peacefully, apparently, according to the hate channels, I should have physical violence perpetrated upon my body because they don't like what I have to say. Because I use my voice, I should be physically assaulted. The hate channel wants you to believe. Physically assaulted. Anyway. anyways, I am going to go have some fun. I'm going to go exploring. And, of course, there's going to be videos. I record everything, right? So you guys will be able to see what I'm up to. There are a few people I've seen who talk about Betty. Of course. They'll have to talk about me. If they didn't have me to talk about, they would have they have nothing to do but complain. Like, they have no content whatsoever. Let's talk about her hair. Let's talk about her looks. Let's talk about everything we don't like about her. Put it in public so we can humiliate her, embarrass her, cause her to lose money, cause her all this stuff. Let's do that. Let's with that. That's within my rights to do, right? That's within their rights, right? Cause harm, financial harm, professional harm, personal harm, and physical harm upon somebody. That's lawful. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm on the road, and I will see you on the flip side. We have almost 200 people in this chat. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And don't worry, we know the haters. They're going to be giving me the thumbs down, even though we had a wonderful, tantalizing conversation. But then it doesn't really matter to the hate channels. Why? Because no matter, I could go literally into a burning building, save a baby, and they will absolutely try to tell their audience, manipulate their audience, lie to their audience, and tell them that I started the fire. That is the hate channel. Nothing we ever do will ever be good for them. So we're just going to keep doing what we do. And if I want to go out anywhere and make a spectacle and bring attention to the case with my bullhorn, stand in front of a house, I'm going to do that. And nobody is going to tell me whether I can and cannot do something. And I have a whole team of people that when the time comes and when we need to advocate for people, we stand up very strong and we advocate how we need to advocate to bring attention to the case. And we did that for Quentin Simon. Nobody would even have known about that boy had we not gone down there. Sport TV would not have run that story had Bullhorn Betty and Dolly Vision not been down there. We wouldn't have made and forced mainstream media in that area to talk about that boy unless we were down there raising and holding. When we went down there, very calm, cordial, and we were there for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks and realizing that idiot for a police chief had a suspect that killed and murdered a 20-month-old child, double probation and can't pass a P test, and he can't seem to find one way to get her behind bars, that's a despicable, that's not a law and order police chief. He has literally lost my absolute and utter respect. We don't police like that here in Florida. When you do wrong, you go to jail. That's how we police here. We find that that's strong policing, and you know what? We also find out there's less additional victims by policing that way. When you have somebody that's willing to kill their own child, they are a danger and a threat to the public around them. And to see that woman also with more young children in her possession, custody, and control, like we did when we went to that hotel, that even enraged me. How dare this police chief put yet another child in harm's way because he does not want to do his job? And so there was a lot of avocation that was required in Chatham County, and I was very proud of the work that I did. I was very proud of the work we all did. And despite how much hate and how much disruption and chaos they caused, the hate channels caused for the police department down there, caused for that child, shame on them. And I know that karma will get them one day for what they did. Saying that we unite with baby killers, we unite with crackheads, we unite with the low of the low, we unite, criminals unite. That was the messaging that they sent out to Chatham County, but somehow we were the problem, okay? But that's what they'll convince their audience, and their audience is too stupid to even realize it, that they're being lied to. Their audience is probably, unfortunately, if they believe half the shit that they say, their audience is about as dense as a bag of oatmeal, literally, dense as a bag of oatmeal. They have no critical thinking or thoughts of their brain cells, probably because they're huffing on all that crap. Either way, that's my complaint. Nice to get all that stuff out, isn't it? So click that, guys. Go back and start bitching about Bullhorn Betty again, bitching about you. Peace out.